yeah, we're pretending this is the tail wagging. Good job, you did.
You're mean.
Welcome back to Healthy Living with Christina Sichangwa. Please join me as we celebrate our first Father's Day. This is basically the ingredients that I used: some leftover chicken, bread, green pepper, and sauces, and of course the mayo. What else? It wouldn't be a chicken mayo sandwich. Yes, so first things first, I try to mix the sauces before placing in the chicken or the onion and green pepper, because I feel like it tastes a lot better when it's pre-mixed. At least that's for me, and I think for me this is the heart behind this. Also using leftover chicken because it's pre-marinated. I feel like that's what really blew it out of the park for me. This was definitely one of my favorite parts of the meals that were made. Definitely one of the favorite parts of his meals, because I've had to make it several times after. So I used 1,000 Islands and honey mustard sauce, because those are also his favorites, are also my favorites. I feel like it's both sweet sour kind of situation. And then of course I went in to place the green pepper. I've just realized that I did not have onion on this day, and discovered the hard way, because this was a Sunday in the evening and nowhere to get it, but that's besides the point. So I prefer to stir it, like I said, pre-mix everything and set it aside, and then I'll move on to shred the chicken and then set that aside, because all this was a surprise and he wasn't around. So I had to, because he had to go work, after preaching and everything, he went straight to work. So I was just preparing in advance, set it aside, and then I'm going to use the sandwich maker because I prefer that. If you just want to, you can either toast it or use the sandwich maker, because for me, I don't like anything falling out of my sandwiches. That's why I use the sandwich maker. And I made sure to butter the sandwiches outside so that it's still toasty and nice and, fragrant. So that's 2.5 chicken breasts that you see there, cream of chicken just in case you can't see it, normal milk, diced garlic, pasta elbows, cheddar cheese, and the spices. Cheddar cheese slices because it was easy and it's also his favorite. It's also milky. I think it was a milky cheese, which was perfect for creamy chicken. So I strain it when it's not fully cooked, because I'm still cooking it within another meal, and then I pour the water so that it stops cooking, season it with some salt or whatever other seasoning you'd prefer, and then set it aside whilst it cools. Okay, so I let the water drain and then I let it brown. Sometimes when boiling it, I add in a bit of sugar so that it's really golden brown. But since I was pressed for time, I didn't want him to find me cooking, and it was a surprise. I let it brown, then I put in the tomato and green pepper and just let them cook through. This is not usually what I like to do, but again, I was pressed for time, and then I went on to start seasoning it, one spice after the other, until I felt like the taste blended as best as I wanted it to. So you can definitely season it with what you would prefer, as I always say, because I think that's what's best. And then I placed the pasta close by because I didn't want, again, I was already pressed for time. So the moment I was done and I felt like everything cooked through, I was going to place it straight within the pasta. The only thing I'd have added here was my usual cubes and maybe just a bit of broth, but it still looked perfect as intended. and I mixed it together, as you can see there. And then as soon as I felt like the consistency was perfect, I went on to begin to add what needed to be added. I hope you can see, because I had a whole like malfunction. My tripod fell, the lighting and whatnot. Anyway, so I went on to add the milk. So this is a cup, a small cup. It's not like the really big cup, but a cup of milk. And then I left about a tablespoon worth at the bottom that I mixed with the cream of chicken. And once that solution was perfectly combined, and I used warm milk, by the way, just so that everything can be blending faster and easier. Once that was combined, it was already smelling amazing. I wish you could see the smell. Yes, once that was combined, I went on to add about 6 slices of cheese. 6 because it's a big household, but if you want less or more, it's up to you. If there's one thing I like with my meals, is a perfect blend. Since I was already doing like this cheesy, creamy situation, I wanted the dessert to be more of like a health kick. So I used what I had in my house, which was like, some watermelons. I love them because of the color and I like the taste, but I love a fruit salad with watermelon because it looks pretty. And I used 1 apple, 1 clementine, as my husband calls it, because they are seedless tangerines, and then 2 bananas. And then I used fruit piece yogurt. I don't like the plain one. I like the fruit pieces because it also adds extra pieces, and this one was fruit cocktail, so it was like a number of different fruits, and it was the most delicious thing. This chicken, okay, everything, I loved everything. I'm obsessed with my own cooking, but look, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Yes, so there were only these 2 tiny ones, kasama though. Yes, and of course you stir, and then I chewed it just so it tastes even better. But this was definitely by far, I think, my favorite fruit salad to date. So when I'm cooking for a special event, I definitely like to make sure I have some version of appetizer, main meal, and dessert, and beverage. So this was like the beverage part, but then this was a surprise because he's been craving an Oreo milkshake, and we don't really have milkshakes here in Kasama, so I definitely had to learn. I was really excited. The spoon was bending. I now understand why people have those ice cream scooper situations. It was crazy, but I was very, very excited. So I left some ice cream at the bottom. They only used about 8 of the Oreos. I left some because I was going to crush them as a garnish, and I was going to place the ice cream at the bottom so it could turn out like this. So there's ice cream at the bottom, then the Oreo milkshake, and some Oreo crumbs as garnish. Can I just toot my own horn? As in, because I think I did the things. This was like such an impromptu thing, and it was because of how busy and how hard he worked this weekend. I just wanted to do something extra special in addition to the gifts that I had already gotten him, and I was very proud of myself. I was very happy, and now I see why they say food is the way to a man's heart. You see.
Kalabasuku tapila nyekai. I don't eat that with the I know, I'm excited to have like drops my. That's it. With that, Kali Paradosha Kai. Intuskapai.
Tasty. My back may have been in pain, but he definitely deserves it. He's the best father I personally have ever known, because I didn't have a dad. But as you can see, they have the most fun, and I just wanted to say thank you for being such a great dad to the both of us and for all the fun we have. Super bundo. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see how you put your personal spin on these recipes. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.